The Hodges University Humanitarian of the Year Award is presented by Baird Private Wealth Management. Since 1997, Hodges University has recognized individuals who demonstrate a strong and lasting commitment to public service in our community. These individuals are honored with the title of Hodges University Humanitarian of the Year. These honorees enrich the community in a variety of ways, but each is a pioneer in his or her own right, forging ahead to create a better tomorrow.
Plato said musical training is a more potent instrument than any other because rhythm and harmony find their way into the inward places of the soul. No one understands this connection better than Alan Korest, whose ongoing commitment to improving the Collier County community through education and music is only one example of his service, dedication, and charity throughout the years. Alan Korest personifies the spirit of generosity in everything he does, and his dedication, especially to the causes of education, will endure in the lives of young people in our community for generations.
He's one of those unique individuals that really feels that he, wants to share what he has, and that the more people he can touch and the more lives he can impact, the happier he is.
If there's a problem to solve, bring Alan in. Alan does it with dignity, thoughtfulness, and a belly laugh. You can never be around Alan without laughing some.
As an only child, Alan Korest grew up in Detroit during the Depression.
I had a newspaper route when I was a kid in Detroit, and there was a horrible, horrible storm. And the papers were dumped off at our house, and I had to get them ready. And the snow was coming down, it was cold, and I had to go deliver these things. I couldn't do it on my bicycle, I had to walk. And so I went to my father, and I said, "Dad, it's really awful out. Could you consider maybe driving me on my paper route?" And he said, "Well, I agree, it's pretty lousy out there, but," he said, "let me ask you a question. Whose paper route is this?" "Well, it's mine." "Well, that's my point. If it were my paper route, I'd be out there delivering the papers. I wouldn't be asking somebody else to do my job." So I did it. I just always remembered that. I thought it was really interesting how my father handled that.
The first in his family to attend college, Alan earned a bachelor's degree in business from Northwestern University.
My father came from Lithuania when he was 10 years old, didn't speak a bit of English. None of my family had ever been to college or university. So I really didn't know what to do in a university. I didn't have that kind of guidance. I just knew I wanted to have it. And I figured when I got there, I'd figure it out.
Some of those who helped Alan figure it out were the World War II veterans who were attending Northwestern.
I was so impressed with the maturity of these guys, and I was just out of high school and from Detroit, and these guys were light years ahead of me in terms of their understanding of the world, their ability to understand that they really had to work hard to take full advantage of this opportunity. So they taught me a lot, but the whole thing was that education, not necessarily just higher education, but education in all forms, is the most single important part of our lives.
After receiving his college degree, Alan enlisted in the United States Navy and completed the officer candidate program. Choosing to go into intelligence, Allen was assigned to a squadron of seaplanes doing air reconnaissance missions over the South China Sea during the Korean War.
We would occasionally get congressional delegations there, and since nobody else wanted to talk to these guys, I was usually elected to make the presentation of what we were doing. The only visitors I really remember vividly was Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio when they came to visit our base. And that was an extra special treat for all of us. And I got to sit at the table with Marilyn Monroe and Joe for dinner at the Officers Club. And I thought that was pretty cool.
In 1958, Allen created his own company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He served as its chief executive officer for nearly 25 years before selling the company. In 1983, Allen and his late wife Marilyn moved to Naples.
I thought, here's a new beginning. I've been in business. I had done some not-for-profit work in Grand Rapids. I wanted to do some things that would be more beneficial to the community than just what I was doing.
Allen indeed did do some things, serving as a planning advisory board member, councilman, and vice mayor for the city of Naples.
I learned so much from my time in politics and how it's so important for good people to become involved. Good people coming together can accomplish virtually everything.
Something else Allen learned about when coming to Naples was philanthropy. He oversaw the creation of the Bauer Chapel at Moorings Park, which was donated to the community by his late father-in-law, Ed Bauer. Housing the world-class Fenner Douglas organ, the chapel serves as a center of spirituality, music, and camaraderie, and was recently enhanced by the addition of the adjacent Allen and Marilyn Korest Plaza.
And my father-in-law, Ed Bauer, he was the most generous person I have ever met. And I learned more from him about philanthropy and how important it was. Not necessarily because it was an important cause, but because of what it did for you. And so that is what has driven what little philanthropy we've done, is to have the enjoyment and the learning and the participation in what that gift has meant to others.
Being able to see the impact of their gift was one of the reasons the Korests in 2006 founded the Bauer School of Music, named in honor of the late Mr. Bauer at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Well, one thing you learn quickly about Allen is his passion about education. His passion particularly about music education and the role that music plays in helping all kinds of children to express themselves and to become all that they're capable of being.
Passionate about using music to help children learn, Allen helped start and continues to support Music Scores, a pre-K program that uses violin training and has proved highly effective in increasing kindergarten readiness.
We've been very fortunate to have had him involved with our program. It's that outside-the-box thinking where he envisioned not just providing music for these young children, but really linking it to an experience with college students who also then benefit from working with children.
One of my favorites is the Champions for Learning, what they've done with the Take Stock in Children to provide kids from very tough backgrounds an opportunity to have at least 2 years of post-secondary school. That's a huge thing in this community, and it's transformed hundreds of lives.
He is just that leader in our community that when he tells someone that you're doing a good job and encourages 2 or 3 of us to get working on the same initiatives, we're all happy to do it. So.
Allen has served as chairman of the board of Moorings Park Incorporated, board member of the Florida Gulf Coast University Foundation, co-founder and president of the Forum Club, member of the Collier County Tourist Development Council, Big Cypress Basin, and the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and director of the Education Foundation, Champions for Learning, and more.
Alan, I think, is the best kind of humanitarian because he cares so much about people. You look at the success that he's had over his life, and he wants other people to experience the same kind of growth that he has. And so he's very passionate about all things that relate to education.
I think it's important that you listen, not be the first one to offer a solution, but to listen to what other people say. I think if you approach it in a conciliatory and a collaborative way, and you have some humor with it, you got to laugh a little bit about life and how funny it is and what we're all doing here anyway. We might as well try to figure out what we can do to make it better.
Alan, I'm proud of you because you know that secret. To give is to get, and you have achieved that.
Humanitarian means different things to different people. To me, it means it's a person who has worked to make other people's lives better. And you can do that in many ways. You can do it with your time, you can do it with your talent, or you can do it with your treasure. And frankly, Alan Korest, you don't touch one, you don't touch two, but you touch all three of those boxes.
For his outstanding dedication to the community, for his significant contributions of leadership and service, and for demonstrating the degree to which one person can improve and enrich the lives of so many, Robert W. Baird and Company proudly presents the Hodges University 2016 Humanitarian of the Year Award to Alan Korest.